Welcome to this presentation. I'm presenting on the product assessment. Product assessment or performance assessment according to Learning Policy Institute. Performance assessment is an approach to educational assessment that requires students to directly demonstrate what they know and what they are able to do through open-ended tasks. For example, students are required to produce a project or to perform an activity so that they can be assessed through that performed activity. This demonstration can include generating a short written response, writing an analytical essay, or conducting an investigation. Even it can be developing an original research paper. This is according to Learning Policy Institute. So product assessment, it is an alternative form of assessment that moves away from traditional paper and pencil test. Here, let me remind you that we assess the product of a student. The origin of product assessment, it originated in ancient time, because today we are seeing many changes that are occurring in educational measurement. So in ancient time, we used it to pass memorization of poems, multiple choice testing, and enumerating all kind of plants that exist in the forest. But today, nowadays, we normally assess what a student can do. Whether he or she demonstrates abilities to perform a task. The history of performance testing has three periods. First period is pre-modern. The second is modern period. The third one is post-modern period. So in a pre-modern period, for example, Chinese experience with performance assessment began in the Han Dynasty around 210 before Christ. We have a lot of product assessment. Also, another Song dynasty around 960 up to 1279, a candidate wishing to join the civil ranks were required to take examination in a number of disciplines. So these examinations, based on the canon of Confucian classics, emphasized originality and composition. For example, those who wanted to join the civil rank, they had to demonstrate abilities of what? Of reasoning. About, even they had been requested to discuss the five conflicts within the classics. So if they demonstrated that abilities of critical thinking, they had to be given the civil rank. So the performance of examination in ancient time, as we are saying, somewhere in Chinese dynasty. So they used it to pass examinations. For example, boys used it to be given 3 arrows. Those 3 arrows, so they used it to hit. So that one who could receive 3 hits could be scored as excellent. 2 hits had been scored as a good. He had given a good score. The first one of 3 hits, excellent score. Second, with the 2 hits, good score. Third one, with 1 hit, he used it to be given a pass. 0 hit resulted in being rejected. So, in the 11th century, there was a form of instruction and oral assessment on religious content. So up to that time, even around that period, University of Paris and the University of Bologna were the first to introduce examinations as we know them today. Students had to show proficiency in debating the concept contained in biblical text and had to resolve the seeming contradictions. So if they had abilities to debate, so that also was considered as a product assessment. So in the modern period, after essay writing assessment, the second development was the advent of computer adaptive testing, which first appeared in the 1970s. So let's move to the postmodern period, which is our period where they developed multiple choice testing and so on, and which results today in focusing on product assessment, assessing what the student can demonstrate their abilities to perform. So there are 2 confusing terms in assessment. First is the process assessment and product assessment. Process assessment refers to how a runner went about completing a task or achievement on an outcome, while product assessment refers to the end result of a process, what has been completed. It refers to the product assessment. Learning needs to be connected to the lives of the student through relevant tasks that focus on students' ability to use their knowledge and skills in meaningful ways. Product can include a wide range of student works that target specific skills. We have many examples of product-based assessment. When we are assessing a student in journalism, so we assess what they wrote, newspapers, daily post, how they publish it, and so on. So when we are assessing students in ICT, we assess programs they would have developed and how those programs, those softwares are displaying. So a scoring tool outlining required criteria for a piece of work or what is important to assess. It is also indicates the weighting that has been determined for each criterion based on its relative importance to the overall task, and describes what the performance would like at the performance would look like at different quality levels. So we have different levels. While product assessment, we consider that some students are beginners, others are skilled, others are expert. So while assessing them, we consider the levels. For example, who is a beginner? We can think that his product is poor or poorly organized. The structure is also poor. Who is skilled? He can demonstrate informative skills or informative data. He can present informative data in his work. While those who are experts or things are smart. So when we are assessing basing on the product, we should also consider the levels of those students to be assessed. Then we assess them relatively. Also, there are innovations brought by product assessment in education. First one is that product assessment is valid because we can use it to assess what is supposed to be assessed. Also, is reliable. It is reliable because when I assess the software and a student in the ICT would have developed, another one, if he comes to repeat that assessment, he can find the same result. Also, is practical. It does not consume time. It does not consume money. So, I may say that this product assessment, he brings his product, then I assess it. It does not consume time. It is not time consuming. It is not high cost. Also, students can be happy when we are assessing them in their world experience. What to conclude here is that the product assessment provides students with the structure and motivation to better themselves while ensuring resilience in competition and disappointment. It helps in understanding competence so students can be taught an appropriate level and pace for them. So thank you for watching.